Welcome tonight to a WrestleMania, which are kicking it off here with a men's World Heavyweight Championship match. Out first, it's the challenger, a man who's cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase that he won last year at WrestleMania, here tonight for a one-on-one match with the Beast, Brock Lesnar, who's the man that's pissed off after on Monday Night Raw, Paul Heyman betrayed Lesnar to partner up with this man, Bron Breakker. And what tonight are we about to see? The future become the now and become the World Heavyweight Champion. I spoke to Paul Heyman after Raw and he said that he's had a vision for a while, and that is this man as a champion, and he's been advising Breakker on when to cash in for the biggest moment and the best opportunity. And well, him and Breakker devised a plan to cash in at WrestleMania for a one-on-one match, so Breakker, on the grandest stage of them all, can prove he is, well, the now of the industry and should be World Heavyweight Champion. Like I said, last year at WrestleMania he won the Money in the Bank ladder match. We saw Logan Paul win that on night 1. I recommend you go back and check out night 1 on the channel. Well, let's get night 2 underway here. See Paul Heyman at ringside, accompanying Bron Breakker, and here is the champion, the man that Paul Heyman betrayed, the partner on side, Bron Breakker. Man, he's pissed off here tonight. And well, if we think what Brock Lesnar's been doing tonight to John Cena and Seth Rollins in the past couple of months has been bad, and I'm not too sure what he's going to do when he gets his hands on Bron Breakker, or most importantly, if he can get his hands on Paul Heyman. And this one is a regular one-on-one match, and on Monday Night Raw, what happened for the betrayal is Brock and Heyman were in the ring. Bron Breakker then came out and we'll talk some trash to Lesnar. Lesnar then set himself back, and Breakker said to ask Paul Heyman about, well, the plans, etc. that they've been devising. And well, Brock turned around and questioned Heyman on it, and Heyman, scared, tried to play it off first of all, then decided to just give it up. He hit a low blow on Brock Lesnar, which saw Lesnar spill out to ringside. And then Bron Breakker ran down the ramp, hit a spear on Brock Lesnar, which had Lesnar laid out at ringside, and those two at the ringside were stood in the ring together to form this new partnership. And then what the plan is for that title after tonight to be in the hands of Bron Breakker, but to do so he's going to defeat the Beast, Brock Lesnar. And well, where we go here in this one, Bron Breakker and Brock Lesnar exchanged some words here. And Lesnar went for the Steiner liner, but Brock caught him. And Brock now with some backbreakers there to Bron Breakker, and launches Breakker across the ring. And Brock just asking, is that you've got, kid? And well, Bron Breakker, well, Heyman is telling Breakker to focus because Lesnar is in control of this matchup, and driving his knees into the side of the head of Breakker here tonight. What a way to kick off night 2 of WrestleMania, where I recommend you go back and check out night 1, as Breakker here being pummeled here by Lesnar, who just has some choice words there for Paul Heyman. You see this new client, Bron Breakker, who just slapped Lesnar, and there's a huge shoulder tackle, dropping Lesnar to the mat. And Breakker flies in this and gets a clothesline. And Paul Heyman telling Breakker to stay on the attack here, to stick to the plan that they probably devised. As Bron Breakker again with his fist drop there to Lesnar, sorry. And now an elbow drop to the top of the head. And Paul applauding his new client, Bron Breakker, who just launches Lesnar across the ring. Well, Brock Lesnar's not used to being launched around like that. But Lesnar in the corner with a stomp by Bron Breakker. As Bron Breakker now gets control of this matchup. As Breakker off the ropes, sends Lesnar Looking for a backbreaker, but Lesnar counters. And Brock looks rocked here, but Lesnar with a huge lariat drops Breaker to the mat. And back again here to the ground and pound is Brock Lesnar. And Heyman again pleading with his new client to get back into this. And versus tonight, he's looking to make Paul Heyman regret his decision and make Bron Breakker regret his decision as well by partnering up with Paul Heyman and betraying Brock as Lesnar taking down there. And Breakker now looking for standing moonsault. Lesnar out of the way there. And Lesnar with a lariat. So Paul Heyman doesn't seem best pleased at ringside. As Lesnar again launches Breakker across the ring. There's not many people that can do that to Bron Breakker. Brock Lesnar is one of them. And Breakker will definitely not be used to being launched around the ring like this. And Brock just defiantly standing tall so far in this one. This is the experience versus the youth factor in this match. It's Breakker though, breaking out of the attempted suplex by Lesnar. It's Breakker here. Kick to the midsection, double underhook possibly here. Yes, he is. Double underhook. Stand there by, or double underhook suplex, I guess you could say. And now an elbow drop there to by Brock Lesnar to Brock Lesnar. As now Breakker. Well, Brock Lesnar's not used to this either. As Heyman showing support for his new client. And Breakker in the corner with a huge forearm. And well, Bron Breakker, well, Lesnar on the ropes here. It's Breakker, what's he thinking? Breakker catches him, stat power slam. Well, poor Heyman mouthing off at someone at ringside. As these two. Oh, well, it's been a hard fought match so far. As Breakker again fights out here. And Breakker now. Oh, a spear to Lesnar. But Brock kicks out. And Heyman telling Bron Breakker to stay focused. Bron Breakker's not used to people kicking out of his spears. It's going to take more than one seemingly to beat Lesnar here. He's Breakker now. Grabbing Lesnar by the throat here. And now launching Lesnar across the ring. Well, Breakker's fired up here. And Breakker now. Snatch. Throw there to Lesnar. Well, Brock with a boot to the face there. As Lesnar now. Well, Lesnar catches Breakker into the suplex city. For the first time tonight, Lesnar hitting some German suplexes. And Lesnar again just some words for his former advocate. And I guess former friend. As Brock now with Breakker up on his shoulders. Stirring up Paul Heyman as he delivers an F5. And Heyman pleading with Breakker to kick out. And Breakker does. Just. And now Paul Heyman distracting Brock Lesnar here, sorry. Trying to give Bron Breakker a leeway, a chance to get back into this one. And well, Brock Lesnar. I said, well, Heyman as Bron Breakker back into it. And what Breakker, what's he thinking next there? As poor Heyman getting out of the way. And Brock driven face first and Brock's been busted open. And Heyman telling Breakker to stay on the attack. A wound is open on the beast. And now Breakker with a gator roll here to Lesnar. What a match it's been so far to kick off night 2. The question is, can Bron Breakker dethrone the beast and become World Heavyweight Champion as he now gets Lesnar to his feet here. As Brock hoisted up here. Military press gutbuster into the cover. But Brock kicks out there. Just about. And Bron Breakker thought that was enough. But the Beast is still in this one. There's a huge right hand there by Bron. You see the wound there on Lesnar. Across the eye. It's breaking out. Again looking to exasperate this wound. Doing exactly what Paul Heyman is telling him to do. Go after the target. But Lesnar fights out. And Lesnar now. German suplex. And Lesnar now just trying to get back into this one. Going for the motion, so there's Brock. With a huge high angle German suplex. And Brock now pissed off into the ground and pound here. And Brock doing exactly what he's done to Cena, exactly what he did to Rollins. Wearing them down. Beating them down as Lesnar. Knee strike to the side of the head. And again back into the ground and pound as Heyman see this new client get mauled here by Lesnar. This is not the WrestleMania that Bron Breakker and Paul Heyman wanted. And Breakker again met with his huge knees to the side of the head by Brock. Who is now just mocking Paul Heyman and Bron Breakker. And Lesnar now launches Bron again. But it's not looking good for Bron Breakker. But it may have been a bad choice to piss off the Beast before WrestleMania. It's not the way that I would have gone about things. As Brock just methodically stalking Breakker here. It's Brock now working on the arm here. Maybe looking for the Kimura lock. And Lesnar up and down. Oh, Bron Breakker's in a bad way here as Lesnar now looking for this knee strike again, but Breakker out of the way of it. And Breakker now looking to rally going after the midsection. And now a German suplex to Lesnar. And it's Bron now in control, flies in. And Breakker going big at WrestleMania. I think Heyman's advising Breakker not to do so. But Breakker's going to do it anyway, looking for a splash, but no one's home. And now Brock's caught. Breakker into the Kimura to retain the title here. Heyman pleading with Bron to get out of it. Question is, can he do so? And Bron rolls through somehow out of it. Sign a line and drops Brock. Well, Bron Breakker's championship hopes almost went out the window right there. And Bron Breakker now possibly calling for the end of this matchup. But Lesnar, defiant, still as the Beast. He launches Breakker into the corner. And now Brock Lesnar here, what's he thinking next there? Brock with Breakker in the corner. What is Brock Lesnar thinking here? Whatever he's thinking, it's not good for Bron Breakker. As Lesnar thinking exploder. German suplex from the top. And with Bron Breakker on one knee here, somehow still going in this one. And more Brock this one last look. As Brock's calling for another F5 here. If he hits this, then it might be over for Bron Breakker. As Lesnar with Breakker up on his shoulders. F5. But Breakker's selling it. And Brock, well, now distracted by Heyman again here. As Breakker's back to his feet. And Breakker now is waiting in line here for Brock to be done with Heyman. And there's a spear I know we're about to see. And the champion is Breaker. Is fired up here. And Bron now. With a Breaker Steiner. And another spear. Is that it? And Bron Breaker's done it. Bron Breaker's dethroned their beast at WrestleMania to become World Heavyweight Champion. You've got to give an assist to Paul Heyman, at ringside. But Bron Breakker showed it that he can hang with the very best and where he belongs with the very best here tonight. With the resiliency on show. And Brock, well, he did everything he could to defeat Breakker here. But Bron Breakker kept going. This was the first spear. Hit out of nowhere, the speed of Bron Breakker catching Lesnar off guard. And Brock Lesnar kicked out there at 2. Just about. And Lesnar here caught Breakker into the German suplexes. And then hit a F5, which Bron Breakker kicked out of. And Bron Breakker kicked out of 2 F5s here tonight. Not only that, but he busted open Brock Lesnar. And this was the F5 that almost ended it, staring right at Paul Heyman as he delivered it. As Lesnar thought it was over right here. But Bron Breakker kicked out at 2.99. And right here, I believe this was the very end. The last spear. Cutting Lesnar in half, busted open. After a spear into the Breaking Steiner, into another spear. And Bron Breakker is your new World Heavyweight Champion. And what a way to kick off Night 2 of WrestleMania. And well, after seeing Bron Breakker become World Heavyweight Champion, Dragon Lee's out here to try and become Intercontinental Champion. And while Dominic Mysterio is the champion, the man who defeated John Cena for the title on John Cena's final Raw in Boston just before WrestleMania. This is Dominic Mysterio's first title defense since winning the title. And Dragon Lee stepping up tonight for the task. And well, I spoke to Dragon Lee backstage as to why he has stepped up tonight, and that's because, well, Dominic Mysterio calls himself not only the greatest Mysterio of all time, but also the King of the Luchadors, and now the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time after, well, winning their title less than a week ago. And Dragon Lee has said that he's had enough of Dominic Mysterio, not only disrespecting Rey Mysterio, man that Dragon Lee's got a huge amount of respect for, but also the Luchador culture by calling himself the King of the Luchadors. And tonight, he's looking to end the title reign of Dom Mysterio in the grand decision of all and embarrass Dom Mysterio here at WrestleMania. The question is though, will Dom have help here tonight? Just like we're seeing over the past couple of months with Liv Morgan and Judgment Day helping Dominic Mysterio win matchups. And as we saw in the match with John Cena in Boston for the IC title. But let's get Dirty Dom out here and find out if the champion will fight by himself here tonight, or if Dirty Dom, who's getting relentlessly booed at the arena before even walking out here, will have help at ringside tonight. If I was a betting man, I'd say there's going to be some help for Dirty Dom in this one. And Dominic Mysterio, the RC champion, making his entrance for the title for the first time since winning it a week ago, is with Liv Morgan here tonight. Going to imagine that Liv Morgan's going to be sticking around that ringside to help Dom Mysterio win the title, or keep the title here tonight, to keep it in the Judgment Day, as he's the only person in the Judgment Day right now with, well, championship gold. But the Judgment Day do hold a tag team victory over the current tag team champions in Motors and Machine Guns, as Finn Balor and JD McDonough did pick up a win, all by cheating to do so, over them before they had the chat, before they could go on to beat MFT for the titles. So maybe the Judgment Day are going to look to bring the tag team gold back to the clubhouse. And so Liv Morgan was the former Women's World Heavyweight Champion, won the title last year at WrestleMania, and this year She doesn't have a match at WrestleMania. She lost the title 3 months ago to Rhea Ripley, who she dethroned last year at WrestleMania with help of Judgment Day by doing so. And Rhea came back after 8 months of action missed to beat Liv Morgan and get her revenge and take back the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. And speaking of that, we will see that defended later tonight against Io Sky. But Liv Morgan tonight will not care she doesn't have a match or a title match tonight if she can help that man right there, Dirty Dom, retain the IC title. Let's get this title match underway here for that prestigious title you can see on your screen right there. And when we go ahead with the crowd chanting for Dragon Lee here, as Dom telling the challenger to bring it in. Dragon Lee is going to do so. So Dragon Lee is fighting for the honor of the Lucha Libre culture and also to silence Dominic Mysterio, who calls himself the greatest luchador of all time. Not only that, the greatest Mysterio of all time. As Dragon Lee with some kicks here, as he just exchanges strikes in the middle of the ring to start this matchup off with. And Dragon Lee counters him with a forearm of his own. And Lee now kick to the midsection here with a Mexican destroyer to start the matchup off with. A big hitter straight away from Dragon Lee. He may be looking to win this one fairly quickly here tonight. And a forearm there to Dominic Mysterio. Rocks still on Dragon Lee now. Up and over the top, sweeping the legs here. And a drop kick there by Dragon Lee, who's fired up here. Well, Liv Morgan washing on. Dominic Mysterio was on the back foot here. Early in this match was Dragon Lee. Drops him down into the powerbomb. And Dom is rocks for a lack of a better explanation here so far by Dragon Lee, who started this matchup off brilliantly, hitting that Mexican destroyer, which just gave him control of the matchup. As Dominic Mysterio up and over the top here, and Dragon Lee is fired up here, and Lee looking to fly. Tope Suicida, wiping out Dirty Dom. Well, Dragon Lee needs to get Mysterio back into the ring. As Liv Morgan trying to wake up Dominic Mysterio, who is not a great start to this matchup here. As Dragon Lee now springboard, impressive Hurricane Rana there. Now floats up and over the top into the pinfall here. But Dom is still in this one just about. Well, it's not been a great start to the matchup for Dominic Mysterio, but it is a knee by Dirty Dom. And now a forearm there. A super kick to Dragon Lee. As Mysterio now back in control of this one. Well, I should say in control of this one now. It was a bad start for Dominic, but he now is in control of this matchup here. With a double foot something to be on there, Dragon Lee. And Dom here in control of the matchup now as Liv Morgan applauding him at ringside. As Dominic Mysterio here looking for the Three Amigos. As the crowd relentlessly boom out the arena here. But as we all know, Dominic Mysterio doesn't quite care what the crowd think of him. As he connects with the Three Amigos. And Dom now with some boots to the face here of the challenger. And with Dom now going after the mask of Dragon Lee. And with Dragon Lee just about stopped Dominic Mysterio from trying to unmask him. And Dragon Lee now again. This time though with a brainbuster to Mysterio. And Dragon Lee now putting Mysterio back to his feet here. And Dragon Lee connects with a huge knee strike to Mysterio into the cover. And what if Morgan saying it isn't over? And it just about isn't for Mysterio, who stays in this one just about there. Well, Dragon Lee here looking to put this one away now, looking for Operation Dragon here. If he hits it, could be over. Operation Dragon. Then Morgan trying to wake up Mysterio. And Dom again just kicks out. And Dom, as Liv Morgan distracting Dragon Lee here. And Mysterio getting back to his feet. Looking to take advantage of the situation here with a crucifix pin here. But Dragon Lee kicks out just about there. And Dom staying on the attack here. As Liv Morgan is applauding him at ringside for doing so. And we knew that Liv Morgan would get involved in this matchup at some point. As Dom again, snapmare, breaking her face there. Has Dragon Lee down in the drop zone. As Mysterio with the frog splash, hooks the leg into the cover. But Dragon Lee kicks out. And we're Dom frustrated here. Digging the boots out into the midsection of Dragon Lee. And Dom now looking to expose the turnbuckle pad here, looking to maybe utilise that, but Charles Robinson. But a low blow by Dom. And well, that was the ploy set up by Mysterio. Now digs the boot into the midsection here, waiting for the referee to turn around after the low blow. Dom now into the cover, it could be all over here. But Dragon Lee somehow kicks out. And Liv Morgan can't believe it. And somehow Dragon Lee's still going into this matchup. And Dom now just teeing away at Dragon Lee, a snap mirror again. And a rake across the face there. And Dom and Liv Morgan, well, Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio showing some words here. And I think Liv Morgan's telling Dominic Mysterio what to do to put this one away. Well, Dragon Lee back in this one here. Mysterio over boots or knee there. And Dom now sending Dragon Lee up and over the top. And Dom now calling Dragon Lee to his feet here. But a suicide dive of his own here. Well, Liv Morgan applauding Dom. And Dom now sending Dragon Lee head first into the barricade. Well, this is legal, albeit bending the rules. The count of 5 here, count of 6. Dom sending Dragon Lee back into the ring. Count of 7 here. And Dom, springboard drop kick to Dragon Lee. And you may not like it, but I believe this one's on its way to being over here. Liv Morgan getting involved. The low blow by Dragon Lee, who's been busted open as well. As Dom now sends Lee into the corner. But Dragon Lee counters. And Lee now. Operation Dragon again. Into the cover. And Dom just kicks out again. Somehow, this one isn't over. Well, Liv Morgan again distracting Dragon Lee. And Dom now looking to put this one away here. As a crowd relentlessly boo Mysterio after what with the saw. And Liv Morgan applauding Mysterio with a 619. And making a climb to the top if he hits it's over. With the frog splash to retain the title here at WrestleMania. And Dom done so. It's not a popular result, but Liv Morgan getting involved, allowing Mysterio to retain the title here. Well, Dragon Lee put up a great fight here tonight, but in the end, the involvement of Liv Morgan, the cheating of Dominic Mysterio, what was too much. The low blow busted him open as well, using the barricade to open the wound even more. Well, I don't think the issues between Dominic Mysterio and the Luchadors of WWE are going to be over pretty soon. Well, tonight he overcomes Dragon Lee just about. The second Operation Dragon was almost enough, but I don't think Dragon Lee had enough to hit the maneuver. But the authority hit the first one with, as you can see right here, connected with it perfectly there. But Dominic Mysterio just about gets the shoulders up right there before the 3 count. And right here was Liv Morgan distracting Dragon Lee, allowing Mysterio into the crucifix pin, which almost was the match over. And there was the final frog splash after the 619 as the Liv Morgan distracted Dragon Lee. And Mysterio, he may not like it, but retains the IC title here at WrestleMania in his first title defense with the help of Liv Morgan. And will after Dom just retain the IC title after help from Liv Morgan against Dragon Lee. It's time for Roman Reigns versus The Rock, the Tribal Chief versus the High Chief. The winner has control of the bloodline and sits head of the table. Well, Reigns is fighting here seemingly alone. The Rock has Solo Sikoa, the Tongans, on his side. But Jacob Fatu recently splitting away from MFT to go his own way. Whether or not he'll be here to help out Reigns tonight, whether Jay, Jimmy and Sami Zayn are, that remains to be seen. But this man, Roman Reigns, last year at WrestleMania, walked into WrestleMania the undisputed WWE champion and walked out without the title after Cody Rhodes beat him and finally finished his story. And tonight, Reigns has to go for a year-long battle against the likes of, against Solo Sikoa to try and win back the Tribal Chief. Well, the Ula Fire you can see around the neck of Roman Reigns, representing that he is the Tribal Chief of the Bloodline. He currently sits head of the table after he lost it to Solo Sikoa inside a Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood over a year ago. Reigns had won it back not that long ago. And tonight, Reigns defends that honour the Ula Fire bestowed upon him by the elders of the Bloodline all those years ago. That a Rock is trying to take away from Reigns because he believes that Reigns has been using the Bloodline, and it's hard to disagree with this, where he used the Bloodline to defend himself. He didn't use the Bloodline to unite the family. He didn't use it to elevate the family. He may have elevated the name with that title reign that he had. But how many times did Jay, Jimmy and Sammy, Solo, etc. have to take the bullet for this man to stay on top? And Reigns has been doing his best to rectify that. He patched things up with Jimmy and Sammy. We yet to find out about Jey Uso and how he believes, or what he believes about the Bloodline situation. See, Jey was the biggest culprit of the Bloodline. He was the man who was manipulated into being the right-hand man of Roman Reigns. I see that Hell in a Cell matchup where Jimmy had to throw in the towel for Jey. Everything that happened after that. And Reigns tonight, this Las Vegas crowd here tonight acknowledges him as the Tribal Chief. But will it leave with the Ula Fala, or will this man, the final boss, The Rock, leave in control of the Bloodline? Well, The Rock sits on top of the board of TKO. He is the High Chief of the Bloodline. You can see the High Chief, Ula Fala, around his neck. The orange signifying that he is the High Chief. And The Rock tonight is looking to dethrone Reigns. There's no title, no gold involved in this. But maybe the Ula Falas you can see around the necks of Roman Reigns and The Rock mean more than a WWE Championship. This means this is about family. This is about legacy. And The Rock tonight has his first match in a while. Last time we saw The Rock in action was a long time ago against LA Knight, in which he cheated to win that matchup. And we haven't seen, well, we've seen LA Knight have issues with the likes of Drew McIntyre since, so we haven't seen LA Knight's attack on Drew a few months ago, and Drew also been suspended since then. But The Rock tonight walks into this WrestleMania matchup against Roman Reigns as the High Chief of the Bloodline. It sits above in terms of the rankings of the Tribal Chief, but Reigns, as the Tribal Chief, sits head of the table. And The Rock wants to take that away from Reigns tonight, as he believes that Reigns doesn't deserve to be the Tribal Chief. We heard Rock many months ago talk about how 2015, that Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble, the night The Rock came out to help him, and the crowd relentlessly booed still despite The Rock being there. And The Rock said that's the moment that he realised that Reigns, no matter what, would never be fit to sit head of the table. But since then, Reigns rebuilt himself, became the tribal chief, entered God mode, became the needle mover of WWE, had that record-setting title reign in the modern era of WWE that ended last year at Mania by the hands of Cody Rhodes, who we'll see take on Sami Zayn later tonight for that title. So Sami Zayn a challenger after winning the Royal Rumble, and The Rock methodically and slowly making his way down to the ring. Where you search up the word superstar, aura, anything in the dictionary, you see these two men sit there. The Rock, the most recognisable face in all of entertainment. But Reigns believes that The Rock is back not only to boost his ego after his recent failures in Hollywood, that Reigns has said, but because he is jealous of what Reigns has done in his absence. And The Rock cannot have someone sit above him. Well, this one's going to be bruised, it's going to be bloody. Reigns v The Rock, with a whole other bloodline up for grabs. And where we go here, the WrestleMania main event that's been dreamed about for many years. As The Rock looks to close down by Reigns, they tried to lure The Rock in there with the one in the sky. They're asking for acknowledgement from The Rock, which he knows he's not going to get. That was Reigns trying to employ a trap, but The Rock got the better of him there. As The Rock is out as Tina with some huge right hands there, and left hands with a ground and pound on the tribal chief Roman Reigns, who currently sits head of the table. But after tonight, we could see a new member of the NOI family at the top of the table, and that would be The Rock, who's now just mouthing off and teeing away on Reigns in the opening minute of this matchup here. And The Rock just there exchanging some words with John Cone, the referee, saying, well, I'm guessing threatening John Cone like he did to Charles Robinson all over a year ago now with that match against LA Knight. Now, if he calls the matchup or disqualifies The Rock, then his job is in danger as The Rock Reigns out the way there though. As Reigns deadlift. Powerbomb. And Reigns now was sunk to the back of the neck there of The Rock. Tina away at the midsection with some kicks. And a grandstand forearm strike there. And Reigns now goes into the ground and pound here, throwing some haymakers of his own to the Great One. And what I say, blood is thicker than water. Our family matters above all. Reigns has won that across his shirts, across his merch. But tonight, that moniker goes out the window. Because this is about legacy, this is about power, this is about the Anoa'i bloodline. And the head of the table, and who sits at the top. And The Rock is looking to take that power for himself. He currently sits at the top of the TKO board. And The Rock would love nothing more than to also sit at the top of his own family bloodline at the head of the table, as well as being one of the most, if not the most famous man in the world. Rock would have all those monikers to be his. As Reigns with a boot to the midsection there. And Reigns looking for the boot, but The Rock out the way of it. But Reigns counters a headbutt. And there's the boot there this time. As Reigns with some kicks to the face of The Rock. And Reigns now with a crowd behind him. Back into the ground and pound here. We know who the crowd want to see win this one, and that is that man right there being acknowledged here tonight, as The Rock is forced to just look up and watch this crowd acknowledge him. That just seems to have pissed off The Rock even more. And The Rock now with some more. This match has only been going, what, two or three minutes, and it's been bloody so far. As Reigns and The Rock here going old school with some atomic drops here to Roman Reigns. And The Rock just mouthing off at the crowd here tonight. And The Rock with a drop kick there to Reigns. There's The Rock now just stalking Roman in the corner. But Reigns gets in there. Paying attention was Roman with the boot again. And now Reigns looking to just slow down the matchup here for a second and wait down The Rock here. Putting some torque on the neck there of The Rock. And Reigns having some ground and a pound of his own here again. Some huge right hands. And what a WrestleMania main event we're getting here. The one that people have been wanting for all these years. We're finally getting it. And The Rock, though, into a sleeper hold. It could be all over here tonight in a matter of moments. If Reigns passes out here. But Reigns with a stunner. A move The Rock knows all too well. And Reigns now locking in the Corvette lock on the Great One. Looking to make the Great One pass out. But The Rock counters with some huge shots. And now a huge right hand rocking Reigns. As The Rock now has Roman on the ropes here. And Reigns here is being walled down here by the Great One with some huge strikes there to the lower back. So right now just watches Reigns fall to the floor and digs his knee into the back there. It's a Great One. The People's Champ, the most electrifying man in all the sports and entertainment. Pounding away at Reigns again here. And Rock may be saying that this one's on its way to being over. But Reigns with a kick to the face creates some distance here. And Reigns with a spear to The Rock. But a Great One is still in it. The Rock just about staying in this one. As Reigns with a boot to the back there. So Rock tried to crawl over into the corner. Reigns cutting him off though. And a huge gut-wrench power bomb, impressive strength there from Reigns. Now goes to the end of the rope here. Reigns now gets the splash. Roman is mouthing off at himself here at The Rock. Saying that this is his time, this is his bloodline, this is his era. And he deserves to lead this family. But The Rock in the corner now is being torn away with some kicks, but Reigns caught with a spine buster. And we know what follows next. The Rock now has a crowd relentlessly boo him, but he does not care. All he wants is the power. All he wants is the control. With the People's Elbow. But Reigns is still in this one. And The Rock can't believe it. Stomping away on the Tribal Chief. I was shameless some words of John Crane, the referee. And while Reigns has been busted open here. Now always with these huge punches to the face of Reigns has opened up a wound. That may have been there from the beatdown that The Rock put on Reigns backstage a few weeks ago. A wound that may not have healed fully. And The Rock now just again teed away with some huge right hands to that cut there. And The Rock just saying that this is his family to lead. That Reigns doesn't deserve to do so, I think there. But Reigns into a guillotine. And The Rock trying to make The Rock pass out here at Mania. Can he do so? But The Rock powers out of it and gets Reigns into a rock bottom. Is it over just like that? But Reigns kicks out. And The Rock now not sure what to do. Goes back here to these two shots. Over The Rock being distracted by something at the top of the ramp here. And with The Rock calling upon Solo Sikoa here to come out and help him defeat Roman Reigns here tonight at WrestleMania. Wait, Jacob Fatu. A super kick to Solo. And now Fatu looking to stop Solo from getting involved in this matchup here at the top of the ramp. With an impeded DDT to Solo. And while also amongst the crowd, we've got Jay and Sammy taking out Tama Tonga, who tried to sneak through the crowd to get involved in this one. But The Rock's plan is backfiring here as Jay with a super kick takes out Tama Tonga. And we're now getting told to cut backstage because Jimmy Uso is taking out Tonga lower in the backstage area. We'll just cut back to the ring here. And The Rock's plan has not worked out as Reigns. And a huge shot there. Jacob Fatu taking out Solo. And Reigns looking to take advantage of the situation with a spear again. But a great one kicks out. With the Sunyoshi bloodline take out the new bloodline and the MFTs to give Reigns an opportunity back into this one. But it wasn't enough with the spear there. As Reigns now looking to wear down the Rock. And as I open the wound on a great one. And what a matchup this has been so far. I told you it would be bloody, I told you it would be brutal. And it has been so far. It hasn't disappointed. And Reigns now. Well, what is Reigns thinking next there? And Reigns here just looking to plant the Rock here in the ring as Reigns doesn't do this often. But here at Mania, looking to go big. Looking for a huge splash. But the Rock kicks out. And Reigns thought going big was going to be his moment to win this one, but it wasn't yet. A huge splash, shades of the historic family bloodline. And Reigns had to steal over some huge strikes into the face of the Rock, into the open wound. And Reigns getting out of the ring here because Tana Tonga's out, come out of nowhere. As I tear it apart the announce table. And Tana Tonga now with Reigns up and through the table, and the referee's not calling it because the Rock is telling him not to. And Tana Tonga now sending Reigns back into the ring. And while Tana Tonga putting Reigns for the announce table with that huge clothesline as we'll open up this matchup here and giving the Rock control of it once again. That's a great one now of Reigns. Sends him into the other corner here. And the Rock now looking to just open up this wound even more in the face of Reigns here. And he's just mouthing off at Reigns here after, well, Tana Tonga just made his way out here. And that could have just cost Reigns the matchup. Reigns getting out there to try and stop the giant Tana Tonga getting involved, but in the end it cost him. It's a Rock now just bending the rules here, driving Reigns into the turnbuckle pad here. Again looking to exasperate that wound. And Reigns is in a bad way here. Well, John, this is a regular one-on-one match. John Cone can step in if he needs to, but I don't think he will. Of what this matchup means to the Anoa'i family. And right now, just in complete control of this one. It's taking this time methodically on Reigns, who, however, finds space. Superman punch. And Reigns here, maybe one last gasp attempt to win this one with another spear. But the Rock again kicks out on Reigns. But Reigns now the one getting frustrated, asking how that wasn't a three. Well, let's give him Rock space to get back into it with a roll up here. But Reigns kicks out. It wasn't a huge kick out by Reigns there. And the Rock here, what's the Rock doing? Exposing that turnbuckle pad. And John Cone, the referee. And this. Why did the Rock have to do it this way? The Rock now just. John Cone, the referee, no idea what just happened. The Rock exposed that turnbuckle pad to allow himself to hit the low blow without the referee seeing it. And the Rock here just. Well, Reigns is bleeding badly now. And what this one could be over here in a matter of seconds, because the Rock now With another rock bottom there to Reigns. Is that it? Somehow it's not. Somehow Reigns is still going. And The Rock has no clue how. But Reigns is bleeding bad here. So Rock hands Reigns over the top. I think Reigns is done here. I don't want to say it, but I think he is. As a Rock now stepping through into the sharpshooter, and Reigns is bleeding over the ring. It's the shades of Stone Cold Bret Hart all those years ago, and Reigns is finally not tapping out. And well, I think Reigns is out here, and The Rock is telling John Cone not to call it, but I think Roman just passed out. And The Rock at a rock bottom. And The Rock beats Reigns by hook or by crook. The Rock didn't care. Well, his first plan didn't work out with Solo coming out here, but then Tanatonga putting Reigns to that announce table opened up the matchup for Reigns, well, for The Rock to win it. But then the Reigns somehow got back into it. But The Rock exposing that turnbuckle pad, and John Cena knew exactly what The Rock wanted to do to drive Reigns face first into it. Quickly went over to recover it. But The Rock was playing 4D chess here tonight. Used that opportunity to take a low blow on Reigns. And then, right at the end of the matchup, The Rock locking in a sharpshooter. And Reigns defiantly passed out, pouring blood all over the ring. Reigns chose to pass out rather than tap out, and John Cone should have called it there, but The Rock told him not to. Hit a last rock bottom for the 3 count, so it says The Rock pinned Reigns at WrestleMania instead of Reigns passed out. And well, Reigns has nothing to be ashamed of tonight. He did not get beaten fair and square. This is the moment The Rock thought it was over after the low blow. Hit a final rock bottom. We thought it was done right here, but somehow Reigns kicked out. And then this was after Reigns passed out. A final rock bottom. Reigns was done. You can see Reigns is out cold. There's no Reigns was done. But The Rock wins here, and is now the tribal chief. He's now the head of the table. And what a win that is for The Rock at WrestleMania. But I doubt the bloodline issues are done after what we just saw at WrestleMania here tonight.